The SUV market is packed this year with new tech, sleek designs, and wild performance, but not every model's cashing in. Some are fading fast, collecting dust at dealerships while buyers look the other way. Whether it's outdated design, awkward pricing, or just plain bad timing, here are 15 SUVs that are struggling to see buyers in 2025. The Volvo XC90 used to be the go-to for anyone looking for a safe, stylish, and family-friendly ride. But in 2025, it's starting to lose its shine. Sure, it still has that Swedish charm with a sleek design and a comfortable high-tech interior, but there are some growing pains. People have been complaining about electrical issues, with things like the climate control and even the EV battery not performing as expected. The starting price is around $57,000, which isn't too bad for a luxury SUV, but if you're dropping that kind of cash, you want it to run without problems. The XC90 has the potential, but it's just not keeping up with the competition anymore. The Jaguar F-Pace has always been that SUV you'd imagine cruising down a fancy street, turning heads left and right. It looks great, right? But when it comes to actually buying one in 2025, things aren't looking too great. The starting price of about $58,000 feels a little steep when you consider the tech inside feels outdated compared to other luxury SUVs. Plus, Jaguar's been making some changes to its lineup, which has left the F-Pace in limbo. It's got the performance, quick, fun to drive, but unless you're a hardcore fan of the brand, there are better options out there. If you've ever taken a spin in an Alfa Romeo Stelvio, you know it's a blast. The handling is sharp, it's fast, and it just feels more like a sporty car than an SUV. The starting price is around $47,500, which isn't bad for something that has the style and performance it does. But here's the thing. Long-term reliability is a question mark. People aren't loving the resale value, and it's not exactly known for being trouble-free. If you're looking for something fun and unique, it might still be worth a look, but it's definitely not the most practical choice in the market right now. The Tonale had a lot of buzz when it first came out. It's compact, stylish, and brings that Italian vibe to the small SUV game. But this year, it's kinda just sitting there. Starting around $45,000, it's priced in that tricky spot where people expect a mix of luxury and reliability. And the Tonale hasn't totally delivered. It's not that it's a bad car, it just hasn't done anything to really stand out. Some people say the tech inside feels a little clunky, and Alfa's still fighting that old reputation for inconsistent quality. It's trying, but it hasn't caught on the way Alfa hoped it would. Now, the Escalade IQ is definitely a head-turner. It's huge, it's flashy, and being all electric gives it that futuristic vibe Cadillac's been pushing. But here's the issue. It starts at around $130,000. And for that kind of money, buyers want everything to be flawless. The problem is that early models have had some hiccups, like charging bugs, clunky software, that kind of thing. It's not selling like the original Escalade did, mostly because it's pricey and still finding its footing in the EV world. People love the idea of a luxury electric SUV, but this one's struggling to justify the price tag. The Grecale is Maserati shot at a compact SUV, and honestly, it looks the part. It's got the badge, it's got the style, and it's priced starting under $68,000. But here's the thing, people just aren't lining up for it. Some say it feels more like a fancy Jeep, which kind of makes sense considering Stellantis owns both brands, and while it drives well, it's not really blowing anyone away in terms of features or value. Plus, with Maserati being a bit niche in the US, dealerships and service can be a hassle. So while it sounds like a cool, unique option, most buyers are sticking to more established luxury brands. The Ascent was supposed to be Subaru's big 3-row family hauler, and for a while, it actually did all right. However, it's starting to feel a bit outdated. It still has that classic Subaru all-wheel drive and a reputation for safety, but with a starting price of around $39,000, families are expecting more comfort and tech than the Ascent delivers. The interior layout feels a little plain compared to newer rivals, and the engine, while capable, isn't exactly smooth or quiet. Buyers have forgotten Subaru's reliability. But in a market full of slick, modern options, the Ascent just doesn't turn heads anymore. The Murano used to stand out thanks to its swoopy design and cushy ride. But here's the problem. It hasn't really evolved. In 2025, it's still riding on an old platform with an engine that's been around for years. Starting at around $39,000, it's not outrageously priced, but you can feel the age in everything, from the tech to the drive experience. Nissan hasn't given it the love it deserves, and shoppers are definitely noticing. It's not that it's bad, it's just behind. And in today's market, just okay doesn't sell like it used to. The Edge has been around for a long time, and it's always kind of lived in that in-between space. Not too big, not too small. But in 2025, it's slowly fading out, and Ford's not doing much to hide it. With the new EVs taking center stage, the Edge has been left behind with minimal updates and fewer trim options. Prices start around $40,000, which wouldn't be bad if it felt fresh, but everything inside, from the infotainment system to the materials, feels a generation old. Ford's already announced it's wrapping things up for the Edge, and buyers have clearly moved on ahead of time. The Atlas is huge, tons of space, and tons of seats, perfect for big families or road trips. But that's not enough in 2025, even though it starts at around $38,500, which is pretty reasonable for a 3-row SUV. People are starting to look elsewhere. The ride feels a bit stiff, and the interior, while spacious, comes off more basic than premium. Volkswagen has made a few tweaks here and there, but nothing major, and buyers have taken notice. There's also been some complaints about build quality and reliability, which doesn't help when you're competing against brands that have nailed both. The Atlas still gets the job done, but the excitement just isn't there anymore. On paper, the Infiniti QX60 checks a lot of boxes. It looks sleek, the interior is clean and upscale, and it starts at a decent $50,000. But for a luxury SUV, it kinda plays it safe, maybe too safe. The driving experience is smooth but forgettable, and the tech, while improved, doesn't really leap ahead of what other brands are doing, especially in the luxury space. Buyers these days want either innovation or excitement, and the QX60 kinda sits in the middle doing neither. It's nice, but not memorable, and that's made it tough for Infiniti to move units this year. The Blazer came back with a bold new look a few years ago, and it definitely turned heads, but by 2025, that sharp design isn't doing enough to keep it selling. Starting at around $37,000, it's right in the mix price-wise, but the problem is it doesn't really excel at anything. It's not super spacious, the interior feels more sporty than practical, and the base engine isn't exactly thrilling. Chevy's trying to balance style and performance, but in a market where buyers care more about features and space, the Blazer's focus on looks alone just isn't cutting it. It's a cool SUV, but that cool factor isn't paying the bills. The Cherokee's been a staple in Jeep's lineup for years, but 2025 is looking like its final lap. Jeep has already confirmed production is ending, and that alone has cooled buyer interest big time. Even though it starts at a relatively affordable $38,300, people are hesitant to drop that kind of money on a model that's on its way out. On top of that, there's been confusion around trims, engine choices, and updates, or lack of them. It's like Jeep forgot about it while focusing on newer models. The Cherokee still has off-road credibility and a loyal following, but sadly, it's faded into the background, and fast. According to projections, the Bolt EUV should be a hit. It's one of the most affordable electric SUVs on the market, with prices starting at just $27,800. But sales in 2025 are flat. Why? A mix of outdated styling, an average range of around 247 miles, and a cabin that doesn't exactly scream next-gen EV. Plus, with GM shifting focus to newer, Ultium-based models, the Bolt's future has been in limbo. That's left buyers unsure about long-term support. Even the great price isn't enough when competitors are offering fresher tech, faster charging, and more stylish designs. It's not a terrible EV, be, it's just no longer enough. The worst selling car on the list is the Toyota Venza. Starting at around $35,000, it's fuel efficient and has a smooth ride. But it's missing that something to make people care. In 2025, shoppers want hybrids with personality, space, or serious tech. And the Venza just kind of exists. It's not super roomy, it's not super fast, and it doesn't offer anything you can't get elsewhere. Toyota hadn't updated it much either, which makes it even easier to forget. It's reliable, sure, but reliable isn't always enough to move the needle in a crowded market. Don't stop following us. Hit the like button and make sure you subscribe to the channel for more of our videos. See you in the next video.